Hi guys, I'm here at the National War Memorial with Paul Riley having a wee chat and finding out some information about what happens around here. Paul, thank you very much for having us here today.
Oh, welcome. Nice to be here. Thank you.
It is, thank you very much. So Paul, can you tell us a little bit about the National War Memorial and the purpose behind it and the significance behind it?
Sure. Well, the National War Memorial is here to commemorate each and every New Zealander who died in war. Well, the history goes back to the First World War of 1914-18 when the population, I believe, was about 1 million, very tiny. And of those million, over 100,000 went to war. Of those 100,000, 19,000 were killed and 45,000 were injured. So we had a 65% attrition rate, an enormous attrition rate for such a tiny country who's suffered greatly. And to remember those loved ones who were lost, the government and the people wanted a national monument, which is why they built this in the early 1930s. And eventually they decided on building a tower to house bells.
So you have the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier here. Has that brought a lot more public interest to the National War Memorial?
Yes, absolutely. The level of interest and in New Zealand's history and the suffering therein is raised dramatically, especially with schools.
So Paul, could you tell us a little bit about the Unknown Warrior's tomb and the background, where he came from and what the tomb itself represents?
Sure. Well, the Unknown Warrior of New Zealand was returned home on Armistice Day 2004. And up until that time, since the First World War, New Zealand has been represented by an unknown warrior in Westminster Abbey in London. And it was really time, the RSA had been lobbying for about 60 years to return a New Zealander home. And eventually in the early 2000s, the government agreed to this. And in 2004, we went over to France to bring home the remains of an unknown New Zealand warrior who died on the Somme in France sometime between 1916 and 1918. That's when New Zealand was in that particular area. That was where the majority of New Zealanders were killed. We are pleased to see him home. Bringing home an unknown person means that he could be related to anybody. And so if we don't know who he is related to all of us. A personal and symbolic gesture, you might say.
Thank you very much for that. Now I see we've got some development happening across the road.
The empty space across the road is set aside for a National Memorial Park. We do have some roading issues with State Highway 1 Buckle Street at the moment, which we have to get through. Hopefully the park will be there, a lovely memorial park. We've got no designs at the moment, within the next 2 or 3 years.
Hey guys, we're here inside the War Memorial now talking with Paul again. Paul, could you tell us a little bit about the statue behind us and what it represents?
Yeah, well, the statue of Mother and Children was placed where it is now in 1964 when the Hall of Memories was opened. The idea is the suffering of families in wartime. There's somebody missing from the statue. That person is away in danger overseas. It's not just the person who overseas who suffers, it's also the people who are left behind that suffers. And that's what this building is all about. It's about remembrance and it's about love. The little girl is holding on to her mother's hand, and the young upright son is saying, "Hey, I'm in charge while Dad's away." That kind of thing, you know. And so they're all holding on to each other, they're all supporting each other, they're all comforting each other.
So what are some of the ceremonies that do occur in the hall here?
Well, we do approximately anything between 20 and 30 a year. The largest ceremony per se is Anzac Day, which is a televised live ceremony.
Well, Paul, thank you for taking time out today to talk to us about the National War Memorial here in the Tomb of the Unknown Warrior. It's been extremely informative. I'd like to let a lot of people know that you should come here. It's part of your history, part of your heritage. I think it's something that everybody should come and have a look at. It's an amazing place to check out. Thank you once again.